Hey guys, this is Smithy. Welcome to my channel. Today's video is a very special one. We're gonna finally talk about the Glaminatrix mini palettes. I have all four of them with me. The Exquisite palette, the Elevated palette, the Entrancing palette, and the Elegant palette. I was sent this in PR. I do have a code with Glaminatrix Cosmetics at Smithy Sony to save you 10% off. If you wanna see live swatches, all four looks using these palettes, then please keep on watching. Okay, let's begin with the berry eyeshadow palette from Glaminatrix, and this is called Entrancing Eyes, and this is such a beautiful color story. Look at that. Those berries, they have my heart. They definitely have that shifting shadow too. Let's begin swatching this palette and then we'll place it on our eyes. I am gonna swatch column by column. So the first shade is Entrancing, which is like a pink to a gold flipping shade. It's definitely a duochrome, if not a multichrome. Then we have the shade Gorgeous, which is like a very light mauve shade. Then we have the shade Bewitch, which is, oh wow, my gosh. It's like a peach champagne gold. Look at that. Oh, that'll come so handy. So handy. Okay. Let's watch that first. So creamy. It's not a news to anybody that I love Glaminatrix. Look after swatching. Oh my gosh. And the designing of these palettes, the packaging, it has my heart. Let's finish swatching and then I'll show it to you. The next shade is called Splendid, which is that berry shade. Very pretty. And then we have the shade called Captivate, which definitely has my heart. It's like a berry purple to a bronze, definitely a multichrome. And then we have the shade Enticing, which is like a deep dark eggplant shade. There you go. Look at that together. Oh, okay. Let me take the swatch off. So creamy, so creamy. And that is the Entrancing Eyes palette. Look at those shifts, those dimension. I cannot wait to create with this palette. So let's begin. Okay, I'm gonna start off with this shade Gorgeous, which is like a pretty much like my skin tone, but just a little bit mauve. I feel like this is like a perfect like shadow shade for me. So I'm just gonna place that as a transitioning shade just underneath the brow bone, just to clean everything up. So once we have that, let's move on to the berry shade, Splendid. Let's take that. Such a pretty shade. Okay, so I'm gonna start with Splendid in the middle of the crease, and then I'm gonna go and just blend it towards the outer corner. I'm not taking it towards the inner portion of the eyelid, just to keep it a little bit more open, because this is like a deeper shade. And the beauty about these shadows from Glaminatrix is that it blends like a dream. Like even if it is that deep of a shade, it blends so nicely. I'm gonna go back to that Gorgeous shade that we applied and then just go over the edges again, just to give that seamless blend. I'm gonna take that same shade Splendid on my lower lash line too, just keeping it right very close to the lash line, but meshing it with the shade that we have in the crease. Okay, now for the outer corner, I'm going to dip into this Enticing shade, which is that eggplanty shade, a deep berry eggplant, I would say, and just place that right there for some added depth. This can create such a beautiful, like matte eye too. I love it. That's so pretty. Now, once we have those mattes, I'm not going to use any glitter glue because I don't think it needs any glitter glue. I am going to start off with this Captivate shade. You know me, I need to use that shade. And that is such a beautiful multichrome. I'm going to take that right there, meshing it with that deeper eggplant shade. Look at that. It is so pretty. So pretty. These are some amazing mini palettes to gift to someone or to yourself for travel. I am actually going for a weekend trip to North Carolina for skiing, and I am taking the brown palette with me. Oh my gosh, so pretty. So pretty. I cannot even deal with myself. Okay. Now I'm gonna take this shade Entrancing, the name of the palette, and I'm gonna take that right there and meshing it with that multi-chrome shade. Look how pretty that shade is. It has that pink to gold, which will mesh so well with that purple, green, gold. Okay, now I'm gonna take that last shade that we have here, Bewitch. This looks magical. I'm gonna take that in the inner corner right there, and then taking it on the brush and melting it in with with those other shades. Cannot even deal with myself. This is crazy. So pretty. Just so that I need to use all the shades I'm using, you can totally go with like 2 shades from this palette and create some amazing looks. Like 1 matte, 1 shimmer, or 2 mattes, 1 shimmer can give you some amazing looks. So since you've seen all of this in action, now let me finish off this eye look with some liner and mascara. And that's my look with the Entrancing Eyes palette. You know I love a good berry eye, and this catches all the strings of my heart. I really love each and every shade that was included in this palette, and I feel like there is a purpose to every shade in this palette. I feel like all 3 mattes are so distinct from each other. It does go from very light to very deep, and all the shimmers in this palette are totally different from each other. That would give a different effect on the eye. I absolutely loved the eye look, and I definitely can feel like I can create so much more out of this palette just because I wanted to use all the 6 shades in this palette. That's why I created like this look. I really love it. Let's move on to the next eye look. Okay, let's start off with the green palette, Exquisite Eyes from Glaminatrix Cosmetics. This palette has variety. If you're a green lover, I feel like you'll absolutely love it because none of the shadows are like similar to each other. Let's go over with the shadow, like swatching the shadows. The first shadow is called Exquisite, a very toppery, piecey, like a yellow gold shade. Absolutely amazing. Then we have the shade called Ostentatious. This one, it's like a murky yellow based green. Then we have the shade called Lovely, which is a smooth kind of a duochrome or a multichrome, I don't know, but you can clearly see like the texture difference there. This is such a smooth shadow. So let's swatch that. That's a very piecey, very sparkly, very smooth matte, and this shadow is stunning. Definitely a duochrome, if not a multichrome. It has that brown base to it, but it goes from like that yellow gold to that vibrant green shade. Very pretty. Let's move on to the next 3 shades. We have a Magnificent, which is that true green shade, I would say, a mid-tone shade. And then we have the shade Superb, which is, it's like a green, purple, pink shifting multichrome. Again, a PC formula, not like a, of course it's a smooth shade, but you can see that sparkles running throughout it. And the last shade is called Alluring, which is like that deep, dark green shade, like a foresty green shade. There you go. Let's swatch it. Very pretty formula. Look at that. The variation is absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. Love this palette. If you're a green lover, I think you'll absolutely love this one. So let's put this baby on our eyes. I'm going to start off with this Alluring shade, which is that deep dark green shade, and I'm going to take that on the outer corners. It has a little bit of kick up in the pan right there. Look how deep dark that shade is. Definitely would give any eye look, that depth that it is looking for. I'm also going to take whatever is left over on the outer portion of the lower lash line. Just right there. Just wiping whatever is excess there, going into Magnificent shade, which is that true green shade. And I'm going to take that, blending with that deeper green right there, and just going over the edges and just blending it. Okay, now I'm going to go into this shade, Ostentatious, this one, that murky yellow green shade. And I'm going to take that on the majority of the eyelid. Such a beautiful vibrant green. Right there. Just melting it with the other greens too. And don't you worry, we are definitely going to play with some shimmers because we have to. It's Glaminatrix. It melts so beautifully with the other greens also. I'm going to take this same shade on the entire lower lash line too. For the shimmer shadows, I'm going to start off with this superb shade, this one, the cool tone green shade. And I'm just going to take that, melting it on top of that green that we have already placed, just right there, because it will give that transition going into the other shimmers that we're going to apply. I'm going to take that middle shade, Lovely, which is that smooth yellow gold shade, and I'm just going to melt it with that shade. It'll go so pretty with that crease shade that we placed right there, just right there. Okay, so pretty. And then finally I'm going to take that shade Exquisite, which is that toppery, very shimmery shade, and I'm going to take that right there in the inner portion of the crease. Look how vibrant it is. I definitely took a lot here, so I'm just going to take that in the inner corner and then just melt it down with that yellow green shade right there, just right there. Let me finish off this eye with some liner and mascara. So this is my final look. I love the quality of the eyeshadows in this Exquisite palette. I feel like they've definitely given us variety of greens, which you can achieve like a everyday simple look by using like one matte and one shimmer, or you can like mix and match and create like more of a glam look. I definitely used all 6 shades in this palette because I wanted to see like if everything is performing beautifully or not, and I'm happy to report that it is performing absolutely wonderful. I cannot wait to test out more palettes. So far, I have used everything except the blue palette. I did travel with this palette and I could create so many more looks. So I cannot wait for you guys to see the next few looks. So let's begin. Okay, next let's start off with the Elegant Eyes, the most neutral 6-pan from Glaminatrix. I love this color story. I feel like there is variety. There's definitely so much going on where you can like definitely do like simple eye looks, plus you can also do like glam eye looks. I actually went for like a weekend trip to North Carolina, and I did take this palette and I could totally survive 4 days with just one palette and create like different looks. I went like all matte look, I went like what just neutral eye look, but also like some glam kind of eye look too. I really love this. So let's begin. I am going to start off with this Ornate shade, and this is gonna go underneath the brow bone just to clean everything out. That is like a perfect blending shade for me. So I'm just gonna clean up everything. Actually, let's only do one eye because I'm gonna do 2 eye looks today. And then I'm gonna take this shade Graceful, which is that mid-tone shade, and you can definitely go more warm tone with this, but if you don't want to go warm tone, just dip into that deeper shade, this one Divine, and just blend that out and you will get like a cool tone leaning eye look. But I just want to show you all the shades, so I'm gonna go with that mid-tone shade Graceful. So I'm just gonna blend that all across the crease, and I'm also gonna take the same shade on the lower lash line too, just right there. Okay, once we have that, let's move into the last deep dark, like chocolatey brown shade, which is called Divine. And I'm gonna take that on the extreme outer corner and just pat it right there. This is the Refer Shadow Brush 00. This is perfect for outer corners. It lays flat, but it also helps with blending. Really, really pretty. And I'm also gonna take that on the outer corners of the lower lash line, just right there. Okay, now for the eyelid, I'm gonna start with the shade Scrumptious, and this is that multichrome but very like PC kind of a multichrome shade. This is so stunning. It's definitely like a spicy neutral, like a very beautiful special shade. It's sparkly, but it is smooth, really, really pretty. And none of these palettes have caused any creasing on me, and I have a creasy eyelid, so it's like a best of both worlds, I would say. So pretty, look at that. Now once we have that, I'm just gonna take that same brush with no additional product, and I'm just gonna blend the edges. Okay, now I'm gonna go into this shade Cultivated, which is that mid-tone sparkly shade. Look at that. It's so stunning. So stunning. I'm gonna just melt it with that other shade. So pretty, right? And then for the inner corner, I'm gonna take that last shade, Elegant. This by itself is amazing. Absolutely amazing toppery shade. I'm gonna just take that in the inner corner. You can see that. It's like a white toppery shade. Really, really pretty. Oh, I did not swatch this palette, right? So let's swatch this palette, and then we'll finish off this eye with some liner and mascara. So let's start off with Elegant, Ornate, Cultivated. Those are the first three shades. You can see clearly the difference between the shimmers. Let's swatch it. So pretty. Look at that. It has that taupey base to it that makes it so much wearable. Really, really pretty. Okay, let's move on to the next three shades. We have Graceful, which is that mid-tone brown, Sumptuous, that is that multichrome shade, and then Divine, which is that deep dark chocolatey brown shade. The next three shades. There you go. That shade and these two. Look how stunning that is. So pretty. Now let me finish off this eye with some liner and mascara and get right back. And there you go, that's my third eye look. I love how everyday it is, but also it can go like super glam, and that's what I absolutely love about this palette. I really feel like, yes, you can definitely get everyday looks, but you can also get some elegant glam looks with this small little 6-pan eyeshadow palette. I really love it. This will go so in handy with any like kind of small trips for me. I love it. Okay, let's move on to the last and the final, the blue palette, which is the Elevated Eyes palette. So let's begin. This is so stunning. Like, it definitely has that gradient that is going from like the lighter tone blue to mid-tone blue to the deeper tone blue, and even in the shimmers they have something going so very special. This shade is so pretty. It has that pink flash going on, which is amazing. We definitely need to use it. So let's begin. I am gonna start off with that deeper blue shade, which is called Striking, and I'm gonna take that on the extreme outer corner. That's such a stunning blue. I love these kind of blue. And of course you can mix and match these palettes because they are magnetic, and it is the same size of the pan of the rest of the Glaminatrix eyeshadow palettes, so you can mix and match from the bigger palettes too. So once you have that all built up in the outer corner, I'm also going to take that same shade on the extreme outer corners of the lower lash line, just right there. Now I'm going to take that glistening shade, the mid-tone brown, mid-tone blue, and I'm just going to go over the edges just to blend everything out and take it on the middle part of the crease. I'm going little by little. Again, it's easier to build than to take away. Also gonna take that same thing on the lower lash line. Let's go into this shade Elated, which is that lighter tone shade. It's not like so light, it's definitely like a sea blue shade. You can see that how pigmented it is. Taking the same thing on the lower lash line, just blending everything out. For the shimmers, I'm going to start off with this shade Grand, which is that deeper blue. It's like blue to purple shifting shade, very, very sparkly. And I'm going to take that right there, melting it with that deeper matte shade, just keeping it tight towards the outer corner, right there. And then we are going to go into the shade Sublime, which is that blue green to a pink flipping shade. I'm gonna take that on the majority of the eyelid, just because it has that blue background. It is gonna pull a lot more like purple, but if you keep it on like a bare skin, it will pull out more pink. Can you see that? I look scary. And then last, certainly not the least, I'm going to take that Elevated shade on the inner corner and then just placing and blending it towards the crease. Now let's move on to the swatches of this palette. The first shade is Elevated, very sparkly, very PC kind of a shade, like an icy white shade. Then we have Elated, which is like a mid-tone baby blue. Then we have the shade Sublime, which is, I feel like it's a multi-chrome. I definitely see blue, green, pink. There you go. Let's watch that. Very, very pigmented. There you go. The first three shades, you definitely can see that shift going on. In that third shade, very pretty. Let's move on to the next three shades. We have that mid-tone blue shade, which is Glistening. Then we have that shade Grand, which is that deeper shimmer blue purple shade. And then finally we have the shade Striking, which is the deep royal blue shade, like navy blue shade. So let's watch that. Very pretty. That is the entire palette swatched for you guys. Very, very pretty. If you're a blue lover, I feel like this is going to be so up your alley. Really, really pretty. Now let me finish off this eye with some liner and mascara and I'll get right back. And that's my fourth and the final eye look. I really, really love the way how this turned out. It's so pretty, it's so colorful, it is so vibrant. All the shimmers, the mattes, everything performed really, really well. Definitely the blue palette is very pigmented, so I don't think you can get like a very soft eye with this. Maybe if you just stick to these two shades, but I love the variety that you're getting here. I really, really love it. I also want to just use these two shades, maybe with like pairing this with that brown palette. That would be amazing too. That's the beauty about these palettes. You can mix and match and create such beautiful color tones. That's so pretty. But yeah, all in all, after using all the four palettes, after using all the shades, none of the shades performed badly. None of the shades creased on me. They were absolutely vibrant towards the end of the day too. I really, really loved that they are going towards, like, not going towards, but I am very happy that they have that 6-pan option also available in their palette series. If you ask me, I am more of a neutral person, so my favorite would be these two. That's just a plain color story, just because I feel like I know for a fact that I'll use this very much, and I know for a fact that I love the way how this performed on my eyes. Like the way the looks came out, I absolutely loved it. Like I couldn't just stop staring at these. So this is definitely like for a neutral wearer person. I really loved both of these, but not saying the green and the blue also perform very nicely. This green palette has definitely the most variety that you can get. You can definitely go cool tone as well as warm tone too. But that's my 2 cents on this. I really hope that this video was helpful for you guys. I know I'm a little late to the bandwagon. I would just wanted to finish all the 2024 videos before the end of the year and then step into this. But again, I really hope that this video was helpful for you guys. If you did like this video, you know what to do. Do give it a thumbs up, and I'm really hoping, Glaminatrix, if you're listening to me, I want a purple palette like this. I definitely want to see like a purple as well as like a cool tone mauve kind of a color story. I feel like people will go nuts over it. I really love it. But that's all for today. If you did like it, you know what to do. I upload 3 videos every single week, every Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays at 9 AM Eastern Standard Time. Until next time, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.